Hi guys. Today I'm going to be talking about my plant wish list. It's pretty short right now. I have a lot of plants and I'm trying to be more selective about the ones I bring in, but I included some that I would like to have at some point in my life outdoors. So like in my landscaping or in my yards. So anyways, let's get into it. I'm going to insert pictures over to the side here of these plants. So starting with the indoor plants, the house plants. I have the white fusion peacock plant. And my local nursery does carry a couple of them, but they tend to be a little expensive for the size of the plant you're getting. So I've just been putting off getting it, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's a type of like Colocasia type plant. And I do have a bit of trouble keeping those healthy. I do keep them alive, but they shrivel up and dry up and drop leaves constantly for me. So I've been putting off getting that one. And then I have a spider's web Fatsia. I have a normal, I don't know what variety it is or whatever, but it's pretty normal. It's like just got the plain leaves. I have a Fatsia, but it's just got the plain leaves. And the spider's web tends to have some variegation in it, which I think is really freaking cool. And they get really big. But I couldn't justify the amount of money I'd have to spend to get a variegated one until I see how this one does. So far it hasn't done great. It's had some issue. It has some pest issue or something. So yeah, anyways, it's on my wish list eventually, maybe when I have a little more room, because it does get rather large. I also have on here a Christmas cactus. And this is a pretty easy plant to keep, and my parents actually have one. I probably could take a cutting from theirs if I wanted to get one. But in general, I never have had much success with succulents. I either overwater them and kill them, or they just kind of die even if I neglect them. I think maybe it's too humid in here with all my other plants or something, or they don't get enough light. So until I can figure out what exactly I need to do to keep it alive, I don't really want to take on another cactus, but I do eventually want to have one because they're very cool and they flower. They're pretty neat. I also have on here an Ecuador Philodendron, and I think this is a rather large variety of Philodendron, so I don't have the space for it right now, but eventually, hopefully, one day when I have a screened-in porch or sunroom or something on my house, then I will be able to have one of these. Moving on to ones that technically one of them I could keep inside, but it would be a big challenge. I would have to have a very big house with a lot of light. So I right now have it on my outdoor list because it's huge, and that would be a Thai giant Colocasia. Here's a picture of them. This is probably at the top of my list right now. I would literally die if I had one of these in my yard. I'd be so happy. I could just, that's it. That's the only plant I want in my life. I am a sucker for gigantic leaves. So, and these get huge. Like, I hear the leaves get like 4 to 5 feet across, which is huge. Huge fucking leaves. And I think that's so cool. So I would love to have one of these, but they can be a little pricey, and you usually have to start them out in a bulb, and then it takes several years for them to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it is an investment, both in time and in a little bit of money. And I also have Wisteria. Just in general, I'd like to have some Wisteria eventually outdoors on my property. I think it's beautiful. Somebody in my neighborhood has a bunch of it growing on their fence, like along the perimeter of their property, and it's pretty cool. I know that it can be somewhat invasive, as in similarly to honeysuckle. If you're familiar with honeysuckle, it will just grow wherever it wants, and you kind of have to constantly tame it back. So there is that to contend with, but I tend to like the wild look, so whatever. And then lastly, I have 2 different trees that I would eventually like to have on my property somewhere, either through buying the property with the tree on it or through planting the tree on my property. And that would be some type of willow tree. Can you imagine just sitting underneath a willow tree reading? It's iconic. and I would love to do it all the time. And then I also have been really wanting a magnolia tree. We actually looked at them last year, but I don't think we have the space for them on our property unless we cut down one of our maple or oak trees. I don't know if I want to do that because they are mature trees, and this would be a young tree that we'd have to live here long enough to see mature. So that is my very short plant wish list. I hope you guys like this video. Let me know down in the comments if there's any plants that you are just dying to have, because I always want people to turn me on to new and interesting plants. Anyways, if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye!